dog, have you sang your last song? 'Cause you look tired today. But if you keep walking, there's people talking, and a band that might play. Drink your dog sang a song. Band play along. So boys sing a song. You know you couldn't go wrong. Drink your dog sang a song.
Macomb, a sleepy town in southern Alabama, in between Montgomery and Mobile. 30 years ago, a case here made state news. Tom Robinson, a local man, was accused of raping Mayella Ewell. Today, Channel 4 News has come to Macomb to investigate this special case and the people involved. The case took place in early summer. Tom Robinson's lawyer was Atticus Finch. Bob Ewell was accusing Tom of raping his daughter Mayella. Tom, Bob, and Mayella were all present at the court case. After many hours, the jury said that Tom would be pronounced guilty. Tom was sent to a jail some ways outside of Macomb, and while on an exercise period, he was shot trying to climb the fence. Tom Robinson was married to Helen Robinson, and they had 3 children together. Tom worked at a farm just up the road, owned by Mr. Link Dees. The Ewells lived just outside of Macomb behind the dump. Bob Ewell had 7 children, but his wife unfortunately died several years before the case. Mayella Ewell was the oldest child. The Ewells were said to have been outcasts of Macomb for many generations, and many people thought of them as a very old-fashioned family. Channel 4 News will be visiting Jean Louise Finch in her home in Macomb, where she has lived all her life.
So, would you like to tell me about the case that your father was involved in?
Well, as you know, my papa, he was lawyering for Tom Robinson in his trial. And, well, many of the townspeople, they thought that Atticus was wrong for lawyering for Tom. I mean, we'd be in town and we'd hear people whispering behind our backs about my papa. Me and Jim just couldn't understand. I mean, it was strange. And they were just talking about it right in front of us. I mean, Atticus didn't really talk about it at home, so it was good to know what it was all about. But I don't know, it was just a little strange.
I can imagine. Now, how was it to see your father in court that afternoon?
Well, I thought that Atticus was doing real well, you know. When I saw him, I was real proud of him, really. But I couldn't really understand what was going on too well, because, you know, I was just a little chill. So, I don't know. Atticus, he seemed so calm, but he didn't have no notes, so I was a little confused most of the time.
So, what about Bob Ewell? I heard you had a little bit of a run-in with him.
Well, yes, we actually did. So Jem and I, we was walking home after the Halloween show, and we was just sauntering through the park, and we heard a sound behind us. Or I didn't. Jem did, I'm pretty sure. And so we thought it was Cecil Jacobs, because on the way there, he had scared us. And so we yelled out Cecil's name, but we didn't hear nothing. So we kept on walking. I was a little scared, but Jem, he was real worried. He said as long as we got to the road, we'd be okay. So we was walking, and then we heard someone running up behind us, so we tried to run away. And I just heard Jem yelling, and then someone grabbed me. Luckily for me, I was wearing my chicken costume, because the sheriff said if I hadn't been, I would have been killed, because they found a knife slash in that. So I'm pretty thankful, even though it was pretty ridiculous of a costume. Anyway, so I was running, and I got to the road, and then Jem was there with me because he had pulled me away from Bob, and then I just saw Jem just be pulled back. I was so confused because I thought like he took out that other guy because I thought it was just one of our classmates. And then I heard Jem scream real loud. I thought, what could that be? Because it was kind of strange, you know. And then I was real nervous by then. And so, actually real frightened probably. It's a little hard to remember, you know, so long ago. And so, you know, I was just, and then I started walking home because where else was I supposed to go? And I saw this man running Jem up to the house, and Jem looked like he was dead. I mean, flat out dead. I was real nervous, so I was trying to walk back to the house as fast as I possibly could, you know? Mm-hmm. When I got inside, Atticus was there, and so was the doctor, and they was checking on Jem. Said he wasn't dead. I was real happy about that. Apparently, he only had a broken arm. I also met Boo Radley that day.
Tell me about this Boo character.
Well, Boo Radley, he had been in the house a couple doors down all my life. And you see, we never met Mr. Boo, or Mr. Arthur, sorry. And so, we always wonder about him, me and Dylan Jim, because he was always there, but he never came out. There was all this fictional stuff about him. Anyway, it was real exciting to see Boo because although I had kind of gotten over my fear of him, I just always wanted to see him. And to know that he saved our lives was real special.
And what about Dill? Who is that?
Well, Dill's our childhood friend. He would come every summer. He's real important to me.
Oh, that's very nice. Thank you for talking to me.
Thank you.
Next up, Channel 4 News will be talking to Mayella Ewell, who accused Tom Robinson of raping her.
Hello? Hello?
Mayella Yule?
What you doing here? We don't need more company yonder.
Well, I'm with Channel 4 News, and I came to investigate the Tom Robinson case.
Y'all already know. I ain't got nothing more to say about that case.
Well, we know that, but we're making a movie, so if it's okay with you, we're gonna ask you a few questions.
Fine, only a couple questions, but you ain't gonna get any more answers out of me. I don't know what happened 30 years ago, but that Tom Robinson, he hurt me, and he hurt me bad. My dad died because of him, and I was left here to raise all those 7 children, and I had to feed them, I had to bathe them, all for a girl just 19 years old. That Tom Robinson, he raped me. I swear he did. And my father was an innocent man. My father died because that Negro down yonder had to ruin my life. And it still haunts me today to know that Tom could do something so horrible to a poor white girl. I ain't gonna do this no more. I am done with this Tom Robinson case. Tom Robinson is dead. Tom Robinson is useless, so you don't come back to my house now, you hear?
Thank you.
30 years after the case that shone light on this small town, many people still believe that Tom Robinson died an innocent man. For Channel 4, we will never really know if he was or not.
Big mountain, wide river, there's an ancient hall. These tree trunks, these stream beds, leave our bellies full. They sang, I